Hello and welcome back to Sonny Talk Spurs, and today I'm going to be debating and arguing the points that Tottenham have the best fullback partnership in the Premier League. But before we get into this video, if you are new around here, why don't you leave a like, subscribe to Sonny Talk Spurs and hit that notification bell because it will let you know when I've gone live. Now, let's get into the deep dive. So this video idea came to me due to Tottenham and Destiny Udogie and Pedro Porro having amazing. I mean, the whole squad had a very good game against Newcastle. But, you know, if it weren't for Destiny Udogie and Pedro Porro being out of this world, honestly, I feel like, you know, the game would be a lot different. And to start, I first of all pulled up their goal contributions and numbers from the season so far. So first we have Destiny Udogie. Obviously, 1 goal, he got that against Newcastle, and 2 assists. And then you also have on screen Pedro Porro, who in 15 games has got 6 assists. And it's just very impressive numbers, you know, in this modern age and modern world where fullbacks are expected to score goals, create chances, get assists. I mean, it seems that since Jurgen Klopp had Andy Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold in his title-winning team, and before that when they were competing with City for the title year in, year out, that was when fullbacks had changed. You know, even like you look at the likes of, you know, Roberto Carlos and Cafu and Marcelo and Dani Alves, you know, lots of fullbacks have been attacking. But it seems now in the modern era, it's just so much is expected in this position. And obviously, Spurs fans will know, but you know, neutral fans who might be watching this, you know, what makes Tottenham's fullbacks so different to fullbacks in any other team? And what was quite interesting was Match of the Day did a really good piece on Tottenham's fullbacks. Go and watch that if you haven't already. And they honed in on how it's changed. And it was quite interesting because it was Micah Richards who was going through the point and case for, you know, the fullback society, basically, because he used to be a fullback, but quite a defensive one, you could say. But what he was sort of saying is this argument that fullbacks are expected to do so much, but what you'd sort of do in, you know, yesteryear, like your Gary Nevile's, your traditional fullback, was overlap and defend. You know, Gary Neville's YouTube channel is called The Overlap, so there is proof in the pudding. But what makes Ange Postecoglou's fullbacks different is the fact that they predominantly underlap. That, you know, there was moments during the Newcastle game, especially, where both Destiny and Pedro are basically in that middle space, in the pockets of space, in that midfield section. It's hard to describe. If you have a football pitch and you have the far left side and the far right side, and just a bit inwards before you're in the central area of the pitch, they sort of operate in that area. And we see that's where 2 of the goals, you know, sort of come from. Destiny Udogie in between these spaces and pops up in sort of a striking position, which is quite interesting, and finishes off Son's move. And Pedro Porro for the assist, well, I say assist, the ball that leads to Richarlison. Oh, it was the assist. So I was getting confused with the penalty as well. But he is in that space, because I think he did the same for both. But he is in that space, in that midfield sliver, at sort of, you know, dictating the play. And it's just interesting how they become from, like, they go from 8 to basically playing 2 10s. And you sort of have moments in games where you have both your wingers, your striker slash your focal point, and then your 2 fullbacks basically up there with the other attackers. And I've never seen anything quite like it, because, you know, don't get me wrong, I mentioned Trent and Robbo, you know, doing what they did, but it felt different. It was like they were just marauding the whole of that wing space. And same with, like, you know, how Arsenal have done it with Zinchenko and Ben White, and how what's it called, John Stones, Pep Guardiola, Akanji, they've sort of done it as well. But I'd say they do it in more of, you know, Arteta and Pep do it more in a defensive way. You're getting that extra body in midfield in an Akanji or a Zinchenko to sort of defend and, you know, keep the ball turning over. Whereas Tottenham seem to use it in a pressing, attacking sense with these 2 fullbacks. So it is really interesting, and it has led to many goals. You know, Udogie has been fantastic, a breath of fresh air. He signed a new deal at Tottenham as well, which I'm buzzing about. And Pedro Porro, you know, really come on leaps and bounds. And it's quite interesting considering that, you know, Tottenham were questioned defensively at the beginning of the season. They're still, I'm not saying our defence is watertight, but we've had injury to Mickey van der Ven, suspension to Romero. Ben Davies has come in and done a good job. Eric Dyer came in and, yeah, he did stuff. But it seems that, these two fullbacks, or you could say they were wing backs originally. Destiny Udogie's played in three at the backs at Udinese in Italy, and Pedro Porro was playing a wing-back role at Sporting, and then under Conte and Stellini, Mason sort of thing at the end of last season. People were worried about Pedro Porro. Would he have to play in a different position? Like, would he have to play as a winger or as a centre mid, as an 8? Which he is sort of doing now, which is quite interesting. But they've also improved their defensively. Like, the whole Tottenham line is so high, but these two players are so quick as well. So it really helps. So they've proved a lot of people wrong this season as well. But, the title of the video is, are they the best wing-back partnership, full-back partnership in the Premier League? And ages ago, I did a video saying Tottenham's most underrated player. And I mentioned Pedro Porro. He was the focal point of that video. So when we're talking about a partnership, obviously, there's better individual fullbacks in the Premier League. I'm thinking Kyle Walker, for example, leaps off the page. Trent Alexander-Arnold. But as a partnership currently, who are both fully fit and available, I don't think you can look past them. I think they both work in tandem. They help the system. You take you move one, it might substitute the other's impact in a game. They're just so perfect for each other. And that, it's keeping Emerson out of the team. Emerson's been played as like a centre-back and all sorts. So, yeah, it's very, very interesting. And I just think as a partnership, they are the most dynamic and best in the league for implementing a style of football as attacking as Ange. I don't know many other fullbacks who are so comfortable to take the ball in midfield. I say Trent is, but, even Kyle Walker, is he as comfortable on the ball? I think, he's better defensively. He's better in that sort of sense. I think they wiped the floor of the Chelsea fullback duo of Reece James and Chilwell. I mean, they're never available. They hardly play games together. But I think any team now in the Premier League would love to have this duo because they're just so good. And as I say, they move into the attacking positions. You have our midfielders drop. Basuma sort of sits as like another centre-back. You have Sarr sort of covers as well. So I just love the way we play football. And it was the Newcastle game as a perfect example of how these fullbacks really work. But let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Are they the best fullback, wingback, whatever you want to call them, duo, partnership in the Premier League? Or is there another partnership? I must stress that, partnership. Not just one fullback, two fullbacks at one team who do a better job than these two. Let me know in the comments down below. As I said at the top of the video, if you have enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe to Sonny Talks Spurs, and hit that notification bell because it lets you know when I've gone live. And I'll see you again pretty soon, and ciao.